The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Episode 8, War of the Worlds 2, The Challenge, Fantasy Scoring, and episode recap. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, easy way to do so. You need to tell me who the biggest male and female layups are left on each of the US squad and the UK squad moving forward. You do that, you're in the draw for 20 DK bucks, just as you are if you leave an audio review for the show. 5 stars, something nice about the show, DraftKings handle, boom. You are in that draw for 20 DK bucks. As you are if you follow me on Instagram, like one of the sports or challenge photos that pops up at the PME, PME. Just leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. YouTube will be in the draw for 20 DK bucks. It's so easy. Free money. Giving it away. This is the show to do it on, too, because, this one is the less watched of all of the Pat Mayo experiences that come out during the week. Paul Shaughnessy's here. What's up?
What's going on, buddy?
Shit episode.
Kaylee's definitely the answer for the girls' side.
Yeah, I think so.
Georgia may be, we're going to talk about it, but Georgia may be the layup here at this point as well.
What if it is a...
Now that Esther's gone.
What if it is a crying competition?
I mean...
She'd be undefeated.
Unstoppable.
What if it was Georgia versus Josh in a crying competition?
Oh. Whew.
That's tough.
I mean, Georgia, all she would have to do is just have sex with Bear, and then Josh would be able to cry. So, Georgia would have a big advantage if it was the two of them against each other in a crying competition.
And Bear was still around, which he's not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for my fantasy team. And the enjoyment of the show. Let's talk about the fantasy scoring very quickly before we jump into everything. Kara was the big scorer of the week. She scored 113 points. Polly 99, Georgia 89. I mean, you get her an elimination win, all of a sudden she's at the very top.
Just scores at everything.
D 87, Ashley 85, Kyle 63, Ninja 61, Rogan 57, Joss 51, and then Theo 35 points. That's it.
For everything that he did. And Georgia, Georgia also won. But, that just shows you how the scoring works in this game. It's just, if you're crying, if you're getting in dramas and beefs and stuff like that, Georgia gets 89, Theo gets 35. They both had the same episode arc, essentially, right? They were both into the challenge or into the elimination and everything like that. Georgia is the GOAT fantasy player at this point.
Yeah, since I don't have her on my team, I need her to be eliminated very quickly.
Of course, she just scores when she's not even involved. She's somehow involved. She'll get 30. I think last week was when she got 35 points or something. It's that's Georgia's floor. Other people's floor is nothing, or 5 points or 10 points or whatever they win in the elimination.
Jordan scored in this episode. I assume not much.
Maybe 5 points. Yeah. Whatever they get for winning the challenge.
Yeah, it'd be a real bad spot to have Joss on an off week when he's not involved in the drama. It's I didn't say anything and I didn't win and I actually didn't end up doing anything at all.
It's I think Turbo got 5 points this episode because it wasn't a Turbo episode. When it's a Turbo episode, Turbo does show that he has a ceiling game, but he definitely has a floor game.
Well, it's even someone like Zach in this episode who continues to be the MVP of the season.
Oh my! When CJ's calling you out, saying and you could see it. This guy you can tell that he's did some cross train and box jumps because this guy was I was impressed by his vert. His vert is pretty good. He was getting up there, and it looked effortless.
Well, it shouldn't come as a surprise, although we all kind of forgot about it. It just didn't seem like. He was close. I wouldn't say he's close to the NFL, but he played in the Arena League. He played college football. He's clearly, besides Marlon, who played at Texas Tech.
He's a top 5 world athlete. You know what I mean? He's in that 5 percentile, or 5th percentile of athletes in our world.
And he's really the only one on there. I guess Theo is the only other one who's close to that, but he's a completely different type of athlete. Mm-hmm. But Zach transformed his ability, his football body wasn't the same, but now it seems like he's more equipped for the challenge.
He's more functional, right?
He's more fit. He's more
he's probably more flexible. He's got better jump, more functional type of athleticism rather than just powerlifting, being really really strong. Now it's he's adapted his body a bit. He used to be bigger, bulkier. Now it's he is set up for that guy. Looks like he's well primed to run a final.
Yeah, it turns out that in the challenge, having that extra 20 pounds of muscle on everyone really didn't make a difference when you were already the biggest guy.
Yeah.
So this should help him out, I think, in the final, because at least his running actually looks pretty stable this year, too.
He looks the best he's ever looked. And that's saying something because the guy's pretty damn good.
Yeah, also the shaved head. Good
Yeah.
look for him. Better than the like greasy long hair.
Yeah, 100%.
So in the eliminations, we get Esther puts herself in. This is the one part I didn't actually. We should talk about the entire episode. Maybe we'll lead up to the elimination. But we get into a situation where they tell D basically, Esther cannot be thrown in. You need to keep Esther around. And then Esther volunteers herself up. Like, what's D supposed to do? Be like, no. I'm going to volunteer myself to go in. There's only like 4 girls on the team.
And
Like,
D is
she's
the weakest link. Everybody on the British team is getting sick of losing in every single challenge. And, you know, a lot of the episode had to do with like Esther having a lot of heart and stuff like that. I don't know if you watched the after show.
I did not.
But Kyle was just like
Gushing about her heart?
No, he was just like maybe we should give her a participation ribbon. Like this whole it was like a thanks for showing up type of episode.
Well,
like he was shitting on Esther. Everyone else is kind of, oh, she had so much. I think what really happened is that she was like, she came to a realization. It's like, I'm not gonna win this thing. I've got a kid back at home. I'm probably wasting my time being here at this point. Like eventually they're just gonna pick me off, and I know that these other people are way more athletic. I know in the tribunal she said that she can beat basically everyone. I don't think that was actually believed. I think the girl wanted to go home and see her kids, and they didn't really cut that into the edit, but that's what it seemed like to me.
And it doesn't seem like we'll be getting much of Esther in the future because she
No,
was not
never.
given.
She's not coming back.
We didn't learn anything about her. Like maybe if she like.
I don't think she had. The funny thing about it, here's a production note, is like, yeah, there was the scene where D and Ninja are like are reconnecting, refinding after fighting all of the other stuff. They were kind of drinking and stuff, so that's obviously got to be factored in. But when they're dealing with, and then Esther's just sitting there, like providing nothing, being involved in this like very, very, personal conversation between two friends who are at odds, I guess. And she's just sitting there saying nothing. I think what ended up happening, they're like, Esther goes home this episode, and they're like, use all the Esther tape. But if the Esther tape is her,
we're gonna push you into this scene in the background. There was actually something funny. I couldn't figure out who it was. But like in that weird scene where they did like the foot high five between D and Ninja, in the background, out by the pool, there's just someone like just casually moving around the entire time.
Probably Esther.
No, it was because Esther was like, I think Esther was actually like in the background of the room, like outside through the window in the pool. There was just someone being an idiot in the background. I couldn't figure out who it was. And because listen, there's nothing less appealing on my screen as someone who enjoys the challenge than Ninja being involved in some sort of drama.
Exactly.
She's always wrong. She's always the worst.
I said this from like day one. I was right on to the cringe thing. It's just like, she's the worst. I liked how D handled Kyle being a dickhead to her.
I thought it was
like,
funny.
I thought she actually handled it. She's emotional and stuff. I was actually like, good for you. Like, don't let him win, because it's clear what he's trying to do. So good on D for that. But yeah, the whole like D versus like it was hard to watch, man. Like I was actually like,
well, you pointed it out right before we came on. You said that now that there's no Bear, there's no Laurel, there's no Wes,
all the interesting,
there's no Bananas, all the people who people enjoy to watch. Then you get a fucking D episode.
Yeah,
and it's like,
what
God.
other tape do you have?
Nothing.
You have nothing else. You have this big fight. This has to be the focal point, but nobody really cares. This could have been, rather than 25, 30 minutes of the episode, this whole drama and beef and all of the scenes with it, it's like, it could have been like a 3-minute thing. Boom, go to break, it's over.
Well, it's kind of one of these things as well. Like, the reason that the Laurels and the Bananas and the Wesses are all getting voted out so early now is because people, they're political players and they're making big moves and everything like this. Like, yeah, because that's entertaining.
Yep.
They know what's up.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out how to keep these people around a bit longer next time.
And
all the competitors that are left who are good that people like Jordan and Turbo and even Zach, they don't do anything.
And they have the numbers seemingly just slightly against them, but like a lot of things could change. But like it could get a lot worse, is what I'm saying. It's like if they start picking off, because I've enjoyed watching Tori.
And we just lost Kyle, who's great.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be starting to try to get rid of Turbo pretty soon. You can kind of sense that. Turbo's just off on Turbo Island, right? He's not really aligned with anybody, so he's going to get picked off pretty soon, or they're going to at least attempt to do so, and he looks like very upset about it.
He looks very upset about something.
Yeah.
Someone playing without honor, I bet.
Somebody is playing without honor.
I bet you it's Pauly. Pauly has no honor.
No, Pauly is definitely in the running to, I want to take his chicken shit out, or whatever he says. I love Turbo. So yeah, I think this was a real down episode. Like it was a D Ninja episode.
And
like,
there was a lot of Kara.
Yeah.
And even
Kara's cult.
Well, that was pretty funny actually.
That was a great graphic, yeah.
When we were watching the show, my wife and I, even at the thing when Kyle that was probably the best part of the episode when TG was just like, "Hey, who are you guys voting in? Rogan." That's funny. And it gets a universal laugh from everyone on both teams except for Kara, who's like, my wife just goes, "Fuck off, Kara."
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Honestly, it's hard to like Kara anymore. And I think we're all over the place, but it's fine. One thing I really kind of took away, and it's kind of a production note too, is when Georgia was up there talking about Kara and her cult and her team, like after Georgia won, and putting Kara on blast. It was funny just seeing Kara turn to Pauly like, "Oh, I guess we're getting the bad edit again on this season." As in, she's already wise to the fact that it looks like Georgia is like their go-to for the producers. They go to Georgia. She gives them a nice soundbite clip in terms of what's going on in the house. So it's like, I'm sure, we see her win a challenge. We don't see the producers go in, talk to Georgia and say like, "Hey, it would be cool if you said this," type of thing. Like that's the sense I got, is that they're wise to the fact that if Georgia's going up against them and like putting them on blast, it's kind of a production like angle that they're playing.
I thought that too, but then I started to realize I think just Kara has no awareness about how other people actually view her.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like she's an excellent competitor. Everyone knows that. She's to be feared within the game.
Yeah.
But no one likes her. She thinks that people like her, and they don't.
It's hard to like her at this point.
Even someone like Ashley, who is just as like greasy and dirty, and when it comes to like gameplay, people like Ashley.
Yeah.
And she's a maniac.
100%. She hasn't been that crazy.
No, I mean it's giving her a good chance to win, by the way.
It is.
The fact that she hasn't been like out of control this entire I feel like that meltdown is gonna come.
When the numbers switch as well, Ashley's the first person they're going to try to get to switch sides. Like she is with Kara and Pauly and all of them.
She's
only
with
as
herself.
far as she needs to be, because they have the numbers right now, or seemingly have the power, because clearly they're involved with the D, Rogan, Joss, like Kaylee, that whole little clique is also part of them. You know what I mean? Like there's a crossover alliance basically going on. That was really revealed 100% at least this episode.
Yeah, I guess it's a smart-ish move to have it. It's basically what all Kara and Pauly have done is essentially pick up the ropes from where Wes left it. This is what Wes did in the first episode.
Yep.
He formed this alliance with all these exact same people.
They stole
they got
his
rid of him.
They got rid of him and stole his alliance is exactly what happened here.
Smart move, really.
Of course, yeah. But like putting Wes on blast for being untrustworthy and stuff like that, it's like you can't actually claim that.
I do like that
when you're doing the same thing.
I like Tori so much that I'm glad that they use her as sort of the narrator for the season.
Yeah, she's cool.
It's a role like Marie used to have. Jemmy had it in the past. Paula used to have it back in the day.
She's just upbeat.
Yeah, she's good. And she's like, I don't want to say she's stupid because she's not, but she misspeaks all the time, which is pretty funny. And like, yeah, she has a good attitude about everything. I like her a lot. And she's good. We haven't really seen her compete all that much.
She's looking great in that red dress.
Looking great, giving great faces to the camera, good reaction shots in real time. It's fantastic stuff. Her and Jordan are engaged now.
Yep.
I like Jordan a lot too.
I like Tori more than I like Jordan.
I like them both. I like them as a couple. One of my favorite challenge couples of all time. Better than Brad and Tori.
Okay.
Because they got married and then divorced. And then Brad ended up with that Brittany girl.
She's crazy. And
yeah.
then they broke up.
Yeah, why isn't she back? I'd have some Brittany back. She's like low rent Ashley.
I like that. That's actually because Ashley now has won millions of dollars, so it's like she's got she's got a brand. She's got she's a little bit more flared up, and she's got some nice things, and she goes on nice trips. It's like Brittany is what remember Ashley used to have these borderline porno ads that were out there before. Do you remember that?
No.
She would post these things on her social media. I don't know if they were porno, but they were her dressed up in a bikini on a car.
Nice.
I don't know what they were trying to sell.
So it was fitness modeling kind of thing.
Yeah, but it was a cheesy graphic. I forget what it was, but she doesn't have to do that anymore because she has money.
Yeah. Now she can do the higher.
It was it was kind of it felt kind of sleazy. The advertising. I can't remember what it was.
These Americans can learn a lot from the British people about how to utilize your social media in order to make money. So I started following Joss and Rogan and Kyle and Scotty T, my guy.
And they're all up on it?
It's just every post just sign up for this gambling site, sign up for this fat burner. And that they're just making millions. I wouldn't say millions.
They don't even use these services.
No, but Scotty T looks like if he's the perfect guy to have here in terms of fat burning pills, because the guy is just shredded at this point. I assume he doesn't eat anymore.
Yeah,
but
can't
16 pack on Scotty T.
Hopefully that boxing match still goes down.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm in. I'll watch it.
When we get a pay-per-view, we'll watch it. That's the last thing that we'll do before Christmas break.
We could watch we could do a
live stream of us watching Bear versus Scotty T.
Of us tilting. Hopefully we can get some action
We can get some action on it. We can find at least the problem it's probably live to tape, so it's not live, and Rob will already know what happened. He'll bet us.
Of course. Rob. Yeah, Rob will definitely know the results already.
I'm surprised his team this week isn't just the 6 highest scorers.
Are we sure it isn't?
I know he changes his team every week somehow. He does the scoring, so he has the back and just changes.
Well, he's got 37 teams and 9 proxy names in there. How many email accounts do you have, Rob? That's what I want to know. He reached out to us and he was saying there's 21 people left in the season right now, which is egregious. We're in week 8. It should be. I feel we should be a lot further along than we are. There's so many people.
They said this was the halfway point.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to 15 episodes with this.
Which leads me to Rob. Rob reaches out to us and he says he's gonna have the cast for next season. I'm we're not even close to even being done this season. This could be a 30 episode season from what this is shaking out as. And he's already got that. It's just what other things do you know, Rob? What other little stories and news articles do you come across? My team's already awful, so people know that I'm not looking at spoilers, but you just happen to win every single year. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
He does the scoring, and he seems to know who's going far and who isn't.
I'm lingering. Oh, my button's undone. Should probably do that up.
I kind of noticed a minute ago, but not I didn't notice the whole time. I noticed a minute ago, but
leaving me hanging here.
I had to get my roast of Rob off the top of my head.
The weekly roast of Rob?
Of course.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Theo in Georgia, how do you not switch teams? That is egregious. Because it actually makes a ton of sense to switch teams.
They are literally throwing you in every single
time.
week, and you have no numbers, and your numbers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
You go to the other team, you actually have the numbers because you're a 2-person voting block.
Tori explained that.
Yeah.
They wanted
and you go
them.
to Jordan and Tori's team, and all of a sudden you have the numbers, and you get rid of Kara and fuck over the team that you just had. It makes the most sense in the world. I don't understand it.
Well, one, they're not very smart. That's what the whole theme of this season has been, is that the British team is... They have some heart. They want to be there. They're trying really, really hard. They have CT, who's the most organized of the bunch, as their captain / dad. He's basically their dad, right? He doesn't pick between children. He didn't even vote this week.
He's kind of a player coach. He's like Pete Rose in the mid-70s.
Exactly. And they are getting better, but it's just in terms... What Kaylee's saying, it wraps it up pretty much perfectly, is that she says that she's with the Americans, now they had more people, but after they did the crate challenge and all of that, and she's they just have a certain level of organization and everybody's everyone knows a role to do, whereas we're just kind of chaotic. And it's yeah, that's what's happening here. The Americans are seasoned champions, veterans that, and these other people they're athletic, a bunch of them, which is good. That's gonna help them get a certain distance, but the type they're getting absolutely crushed every single week.
They need a Jordan on their team, someone who's just going to be obnoxious, yell, but actually tell you the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then you have to listen to that person, then you just do it. Even in these challenges.
And you have I guess they probably have Rogan trying to be that person.
Well, he's trying to be a big man.
Yeah.
He's not a big man. He doesn't
No.
know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
I think he might end up going. I like. Is there any scenario you can see where Kara and Polly don't make it to the end?
They seem to have the game on lock right now.
They do. Like, it seems like they can
I mean,
coast.
I mean, Ashley's part of their team.
Yeah, but
right
I can see
now.
them turning on Ashley right away.
I could see her turning on them if the numbers go the other way. And then that is the path for them not to get deep.
Well, the path for them not to get deep was Theo and Georgia coming over to the other team.
Yeah, but this game can change multiple times.
I guess
like
so.
These numbers can be turned on their head with a couple wins against Kara people, you know?
I guess so. I'd be curious if the Brits.
I don't know
if the
all
Brits
of,
won.
Yeah, I don't know all of the numbers off the top of my head. But yeah,
If the Brits won next week, who do you think that the U.S. team votes in? Assuming it's a female elimination day, the Americans probably just vote for Nani, right?
I mean, the girls, if it's Kara who has any sort of control, I think she wants to get rid of Jenny.
No, I mean for
Jenny
like,
lose,
if the UK wins and the Americans lose, they have to vote one girl.
Nani.
It's Nani, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe Tori. They might just try to go after Tori.
Yeah.
I hope not, but that'd be bad for
They
my
may
fans.
if they go after Tori, they're going after the Jordan alliance. Like they're going from the head.
Yeah, then they're going Tori Jordan every single time.
But I think it may be easier for them to just go after Nani because she is part of the Jordan Tori group, but like not as ingrained. If you go after Tori, Jordan's coming after your head every single episode, right? It's a lot more like you have to do it eventually, but it's a lot easier to kind of whittle away rather than take away, make Jordan full out assault against you.
Yeah, but there might be nothing he can do is the problem because he doesn't have the numbers. But
Yeah.
the problem is
The numbers are going to sway, like are going to flip on their head.
well, the issue with like
friendships are going to be lost.
even throwing in
rivalries and
even throwing in like either Turbo or Jordan every single time is that they're probably going to win every time that they go in.
like that's why you got to
figure out a way to get them in together with each other. If you're like the Kara alliance, if not, then like
I think
they're just gonna whittle you down.
If it was me, I start throwing Turbo in against CT. Start
Joss.
throwing him in against the best people on that British team.
The best guy in the British team is Theo. I think he's showing that. Like he's gonna be tough to eliminate.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna take Turbo or Jordan or Zach. To
And like
knock him
Kyle
out.
was doing well, but his strategy was so bad.
Well, it was.
I mean, it was. I think it was.
I don't understand how. I get that. Like you want him. It's almost like he wanted to make it seem like he was winning for a bit,
so that he
wasn't-
mentally can like
Not
get
even that.
Theo off of his game.
I think he knew he was going to lose
Yeah.
regardless. So at least for like the edit, I'll make it look like I was winning for 80% of the race, although I had no chance of actually winning.
I think he was partially thinking like maybe if I get a big lead on him, I'm up a few pieces or something like that.
And he did.
Theo starts getting nervous, and then he kind of gets down on himself, doesn't put 100% effort. But I mean, the guy was an Olympian, so like it's gonna be hard to crush this guy. He's already ran a final. He looked great in the final.
And he had the right strategy. Go take all the heavy pieces first, and then you can just kind of like walk the rest
Georgia
of the way.
did the exact same thing. And actually, Georgia on the after show, I don't know if you caught that this
I
week.
didn't watch it. You've asked me this twice. I have not watched it.
Oh, you should have. It was great.
So the after show was
Georgia
just like
was
them
saying-
sitting on like the rooftop, right?
Yeah,
There's
it
no
was
like Johnny Mosley.
Georgia, Cam, Kyle, Tori,
Jordan?
and maybe
Pauly?
Paul. No.
Rogan?
There may have been somebody else there, but they were insignificant. Those were the main people on it, and yeah, so basically Cam called out Georgia for almost losing to Esther, and she's just like, see, what they didn't show in the episode is that like Esther did the Kyle strategy as well. She didn't grab any of the heavy ones, so she had like the really heavy ones left at the end. She's like, they weren't gonna, but like they gave her a good edit to try to like make it look more competitive, but she's like, I was so far ahead of her, and she had the heavy ones sitting at the back, so I don't think it was as close. Georgia was defending herself, saying like it was a lot closer, but I think Georgia
Secret bad?
secret bad, yeah, like not like she doesn't stand a chance against the best of the best. I don't think.
I don't know. Like I think for her, it's all situational on what it is. But like
Yeah.
they always talk about her being this like great runner, but she doesn't look like her running form looks bad.
I think she has good cardio, but the problem is in the proving ground.
That's never going to come in. This was probably
You're not
the
just- yeah, you're
this
not-
is the closest one to like good cardio that you're going to
Exactly, but you still need power and strength to lift these things, and like these things were like half of her weight.
I felt bad for Kyle in this one because everyone's giving him a real rough time. Maybe don't skip leg day next time, Kyle. Like, he was just gassed.
Yeah.
Like, we know he can lift the stuff up. It's just like he was so tired.
Of course.
By the end of this. Because he did it completely backwards.
I think he's fine. He dug deep. He tried as hard as you can. You never say that Kyle doesn't try his hardest. But yeah, so Cam and Georgia were kind of getting after it on the after show.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Because they are.
Cam is one we never she's had basically an invisible season.
Yeah, she doesn't really have to do anything.
Which is probably good for her.
Of course. You still want to get thrown in.
Yeah.
And right now, she's not in any danger right now.
Yeah, she has no red flags. Even from the Jordan Tory side, why would you go after Cam when you can vote for Cara or Ashley? Cam's just kind of laying back in the weeds. Josh is somehow skating by in this too.
Yeah.
Because whose alliance is he in? Do we know?
Probably Cara. Oh, but he's against Paul. I don't know. He's all over the place.
Yeah. But I feel like that's kind of working in his favor.
Yeah.
Is that he's the shitty guy.
And he's the swing guy that they kind of get him.
They don't need him right now, but they might need him back again. So if you can get rid of Jordan or something like that, then you can vote him in. But
he looks pretty, at least in the crate challenge, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's huge.
I think he was actually pretty effective in that. He's a big meathead, basically. But you know what big meatheads are really good at? Carrying shit around. Call your big meathead buddy if you got to move some furniture, because they'll just power through that shit.
Well, he's actually somewhat
good on him for that.
I don't still enjoy his social stuff because
No.
it just really irks me to no end. It makes him very unlikable.
I liked him this episode
liked him
because he wasn't exactly
we never
involved
saw
in
anything
the
outside
episode.
of the challenge, but within the challenge, every single one, he's almost kind of realized that he is very clearly not the best player on his team, and he's most people, when they suck, are not aware of that.
Yeah, he's a team player because of it.
But not only is he a team player, he's actually effective for the Americans because he followed The Rock's advice. He knows his role and he shuts his mouth.
Yep.
People tell him what to do and he does it. It's okay, this works out. That's the UK's problem. They all think that they're the best person.
Yep.
So it's I'm going to take charge. No, I'm going to take charge. You need some Joshes around at these team events to do
the grunt work.
dude, you got to carry these two things and you got to run back and forth. Okay.
Yep.
Done.
Exactly.
You go get this one set up for Zach to come over and box.
When they were showing the crates going in at the end, I kept seeing Josh, and he's there with two of them.
Yeah, he's crate guy.
Looking massive, and he's just chucking two and then heading back. And I was like, all right, this guy's more effective as a general laborer. The guy's actually pretty effective. He's not completely useless.
You see this in wrestling a lot. It was always the Chris Jericho conundrum, and it's not so much a thing now, but 20 years ago when Chris Jericho really came to the WWF, they propped him up he was going to compete for the world championship. He was going to face Triple H and The Rock, but he wasn't. He was always an intercontinental title guy. That was his. He was a mid-level type guy, and he was so popular they had to put him up. With Josh, he's a mid-level type guy. He's not shitty. No. He's not competing for the Euro title.
No.
But, he's a mid-level type. He's like a Nelson, in a way. That's what this season is really missing. And I wish the UK team
Nelson?
Not the Nelson types for the UK team, because they don't have any. Nelson, Corey, Tony, that type of guy. You add two of those guys onto the UK team instead of that Sean guy or even Idris, who doesn't seem to do anything. And then that team's a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's more fun, too. It's not just two people.
Yeah, I can't really tell. It seems like they're painting Idris as being super weak, but
I don't know either way.
I don't know either. He may be, playing possum. I don't know.
This CT strategy of not voting for anyone is just high level.
Oh, it was great from this week because he didn't vote against Ashley was doing the counting at the end. She goes, well, it's
it's a majority,
6 of 10, so we have the majority, and he didn't even have to vote.
But they're gonna have.
And I love how and Rob actually pointed this one out to me. So he pointed out that CT is talking about Kyle being a floater and how nobody ever knows how he feels. But it's that's literally the game that CT is playing now, is that he's also a floater.
They're both floaters, but they attack it in the completely separate way. Kyle does say whatever you want him
for
to say.
sure.
CT just
with a smile on his face,
yeah.
hey, is that making
Kyle will promise you this and promise you that. CT just doesn't say anything.
No.
He's just sitting there being whoa, bro.
He goes, what do I get? What do I get if you got my vote? He's being openly a floater, whereas Kyle's a little bit more deceiving.
You're better off openly being a floater. The other guy who's on the other team who's kind of like this too, and I have no idea what's going to happen with him, is Leroy. You forget Leroy is
Sounds
on the
like
show.
him and Nani are going to be at odds. So he's going to jump over to one of these. I think she's going to think that that they're still in alliance, but he's just like, listen, now you have no numbers or any game at this point. I think he's going to turn on her at some point, but it's like, I think you probably have to sacrifice Nani at this point. Like, she's got nothing going in this game. Attaching yourself to that probably just ensures your own destruction.
Yeah. But the one big thing Nani has in her back pocket is she's Turbo's favorite.
Yeah.
You come after Nani, you come after Turbo.
And maybe this is where Turbo gets really mad.
Well, maybe. Imagine if they had another double elimination voting Nani and Turbo. Turbo would lose his mind. You go around like power bombing people through the house.
On one of those other, not this season, but like a few of those after shows ago, they had Nani on it, and they were talking about Turbo and what Turbo's like, and she did mention Turbo's temper a lot more than I think anybody will expected, and we'll see it this season.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I want to see like fired, like when he was getting fired up against Jordan. I like that. Although, if that's the case, then he is at serious, because we saw it last year with Hunter.
He's at serious risk of getting kicked out of
like,
the show.
trying
From
to
what
kill
I
someone.
see on these teasers and stuff like that, like there's a high likelihood that Turbo gets kicked off of it because, like,
Good for your team, by the way. That's a lot of points getting kicked off.
I mean, my team's done, but I should have made him my captain. I did Laurel because, I mean, it was Laurel, and I didn't think people were gonna. Either way, now I know you just always Captain Turbo. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, he gets fired up. And
He gets fired up.
And he gets like angry, violent fired
It doesn't
up.
take much. If you resist, push back a little bit, like he's gonna throw hands.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious now that you mentioned that Rob is going to send us like the cast for the next season. Do you think a lot of these Brits stick around?
If it's like one of those seasons where it's just like champs versus chumps or whatever.
No, I don't think it's one of those. I think it's like the next real, like season 35.
Okay. I'm in for that. We don't do all of this for like
No.
the one hosted by Victor Cruz or whatever.
It's hosted by The Miz now.
Okay, that's much better.
It is.
The
The
Victor
Miz is way
Cruz,
better.
the Victor Cruz season was horrendous.
Yes. I don't even know if they do those anymore. I think they just stack challenge seasons back to back now and make them longer like they've been doing.
Yeah.
But I doubt it's going to be another like US versus UK type situation. But if you were to keep anyone from the UK team around for next year, guys,
Rogan, I think you can keep him around now. He's not too bad.
I like Joss, but is there
I called him whack earlier in the season, but like I can see
He's
him being
entertaining.
I can see him being a decent character on the show. You know?
Yeah, I think D and Rogan are both back. They like D doesn't
Joss, I don't really get.
He doesn't do anything.
No.
Like he's sort of like Zach, but for the UK team. But we've known Zach for 10 years, so he gets grandfathered in by not doing anything. But he's been crazy in the past. Josh just doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
He goes out and wins. But he's not like high level like Theo is. Like Theo, although I don't know if they'll have him back now because he wears the eye patch because he lost his eye.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if like he's.
I mean, Michael Bisping won the UFC middleweight belt with one eye.
He has one eye?
Yeah.
Michael Bisping?
He did on his podcast like 2 weeks ago. He was just like, oh, now that I'm fully retired, I guess we can kind of let the cat out of the bag.
He has a glass eye?
And he pulled out his glass eye on his podcast, and he's like, it's been going on for a long time, hiding this from commissions and doctors and everything.
I mean, hiding it from commissions and doctors is one thing. Just having your opponents not know you have no vision over here.
Me and Cody had always talked about on our show that like we knew that eye was damaged, but we thought it was still an eye. We thought there was like maybe 30% vision. We had been told by somebody, we can't say who, obviously names, that he had kind of half let the cat out of the bag to them years ago. I can hardly. Oh, sorry, mate, didn't see you. It was like one of those situations where he's like, sorry, mate, didn't see you there. Don't really see shit out of this eye. But he still referred to it as an eye. So like everyone, we just assumed. But yeah, apparently like since like the Alan Belcher fight, like 5-6 years ago, he had to get that eye replaced, kept it a secret from all doctors, UFC doctors, every single commission. Nobody actually knew until after the fact. He won the freaking title with one eye.
So what
but
you're
like there was
saying
other times when I would watch tape and it's just like
He just
you would
stands
see
out.
certain
Good.
things
Whoa.
and you're like, yeah, he can't see out of that eye. I just thought that he had an eye. So like if Michael Bisping can win the UFC middleweight title with one eye, Theo can come back to the challenge.
It's not that I don't think that he can compete with one eye. I just worry about insurance stuff with one eye.
The problem is that everyone knows that he has one eye.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Because the UFC wouldn't have let Michael Bisping fight if he had revealed to people that was what was going on.
Guess so. I don't think we'll see Jordan back.
No,
He seems pretty content with doing like one season every few years.
If they're getting engaged, if they got engaged as well, like that's not happening.
Well, especially if he wins this season, like I hope he does, then he'll have all the monies and they can have the best wedding they want. And he has like a sort of like Wes, he has a business as well that he probably wants to take care of. It seems to be doing it.
Yeah, I think him and Wes and other people with a lot of other things going on, like they use this just as a promotional tool. You don't have to go on every single season. You go on every 3-4 seasons. And then, that kind of gets you back into the public perception again.
That's why I was actually quite shocked to see Wes back on this season. But, like, Bananas will definitely be on it.
I mean, it's his life.
Well, he has that other show.
I mean, but, like, these shows are his life.
He's in a movie. He's in the reboot of Jay and Silent Bob. I saw that on Instagram last
Eventually, he'll be too big for this. Though.
Eventually, he'll be the host of the challenge, right? Isn't that when TJ retires, Bananas is the host? Doesn't that make the most sense?
That makes the most sense. But, like... When do you force,
I don't know.
When do you force somebody like TJ to retire?
Yeah, but like
how old? Like TJ's not that old.
No,
like him and Bananas are probably how far in age? Like probably a couple years.
I looked it up the other day.
I don't know.
I think TJ's 42.
Okay.
Bananas like 36.
Okay.
Like CT's 41.
I mean, maybe when 8 years from now, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, if CT's still doing the challenge right now, Bananas will probably still be doing the challenge 6 years from now.
But it's like, for not CT, TJ. For TJ, what, like when he's 50? When the grays really start coming through?
Maybe.
Is that when you get rid of him?
I don't know if you get rid of him. I can just see him being like...
Eventually you got to get rid of him. It's MTV. Your demographic is young. They don't want some old custy fuck telling them
I am curious
like still on their show.
I'm actually curious to see like how the demographics break down for the challenge because it's one of the most watched shows. That's why they have this like new budget, $1 million, because it's like their only show that does well anymore besides like Teen Mom 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be curious to see the demographics. I would say it probably skews the highest of all of their shows.
Yeah.
Just because people have been with the challenge for 20 years now. And that's why I want to say, like, I would like to get some of the old dudes back. Maybe we can have like 3 teams. Have like the UK and like the new people. Have the old people and then like the really old people. Like Darrell and Derek and those guys. You can put CT on that team.
Who knows? Ask Rob. He's probably already
Rob
knows who wins season 35.
So who do you got to win now?
I'm scared of Zach.
I think Zach's going to win. But, I mean, team-wise, Zach probably goes... Like, eventually, there's going to be UK people in the final, I would wager.
I mean, Theo's the only person from the UK... Or Theo and Jenny are the 2 people from the UK team that I see being the most dangerous to go deep.
But we get to a point now where the UK team is so whittled down that they're going to throw Georgia in every time. They're going to throw Theo in every time. Just because. But do they get... Because Jenny's a part of their alliance, too. Are they like with Kaylee sitting there being like, no, we're going to throw Jenny in?
Who knows, man? It's hard to really predict this stuff at this point because it's just
Unless
like next episode, TJ can come in and be like, by the way, it's not teams anymore.
Yeah, I suppose. But like if you're the UK team and Kaylee's a part of your alliance and Dee is a part of your alliance, you're still keeping Jenny on your team. Like you're not voting her in, right? Like that'd be crazy if you actually want to shot.
Yeah, as long as your team's like you need her to keep the ball or keep the chain, give you a chance to actually not be an elimination every single week. You need to keep around your best people.
If you actually
that's why that was their whole mindset of getting rid of Esther this week. It's just like,
yeah, trim the fat.
We have to trim the fat. Like, these challenges are not competitive anymore. Like we have to get better by getting smaller.
Well, the one this week was especially tough for them because having numbers this week really helped.
Yeah.
Just having like Kara was
just having a couple,
Kara's only role was running the thing back and forth, like the whatever the hell.
Having a couple of people to just carry more bricks and crates or whatever they were. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think we covered everything. There's probably something that we didn't talk about, but I mean, we covered everything I think I wanted to.
I'm really sick of Kyle mentioned this in his like confessional before he left. He's like, oh, I came back. I was gonna win and have my $1 million. Like you don't win $1 million. We know this. Like, are they telling them to say that, or do these people actually think that if they win, they get $1 million?
Will they get taxed? What, 50?
No, like they're a part of a team for one thing. Like the team wins $1 million.
It may go down to singles, though.
It might, but they don't know that.
That's why it's still $1 million. Maybe it's just his part of $1 million. Maybe they say my part of $1 million, but then they edit that out.
Maybe they do edit that out. But that's like he seems like very clear. Like, no, this is my $1 million to win. It's like, no, you made it win like $1.50.
Yeah,
and all said and done here. Unless you really
who knows, man? I have no idea how this season's gonna play out.
Yeah, I'm the
There's
most.
21 people left. It's crazy. We're at episode 8.
Could you name all 21 people, do you think?
Ooh, probably.
Just trying to think of the UK team. I guarantee you there's someone I'd miss. And there's only like 3 of them left.
Rogan, Joss, Georgia, Theo, Kaylee.
D, Jenny, Idris would be the one.
I think that's it.
Is that everyone who's left on there? Everyone else on the American team? Wow. CT is on their team too.
TT. That's 9.
We don't get...
And then the 11, yeah, so they have 2 people advantage now, right?
I'm shocked we're still not getting a ton of CT.
Yeah.
That leads me to believe, again, that he's going to end up doing really well. Or he has the one big episode where he finally freaks out and does something.
Yeah, 12 and 9, yeah.
12
Sorry, I was
and 9
doing the
3-person
math.
advantage. Wonder if we'll get another double elimination next week, or if that's like something they do every few episodes now.
They gotta start getting rid of characters. Too many characters left right now, Pat. We're like 8 episodes in. There's 21 people left. Like if we start doing single, like this is a 30 episode season.
Should they just do like a Royal Rumble? Like it's a battle royal, first 5 people over the top, or just off the show?
Yeah, I agree.
Or have like a purge challenge or something.
Yeah, get rid of like 5 people.
But you can't have it that like this week where you lose and like 2 UK people have to go in. There has to be a thing where everyone's kind of on the table.
If they get rid of a 5-person purge, who's getting eliminated?
Nani, Kaylee, like just not knowing how the voting works. Nani, Kaylee, Josh, Leroy, Steve are probably the 5 weakest people left.
I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Yeah.
I don't know who else like would you throw. Everyone else seems like a level up better, and Leroy could be better.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is, but if it's like a swimming competition, Leroy is going to lose. I guess Idris would be in that pile
Yes,
too.
of course. Idris instead of Leroy.
Yeah, Leroy's better than Idris, I think.
I think too, but we don't know. But yeah, I think that would be they got to start getting rid of people. I think like it seems really dragged out.
Yeah, I don't need a D episode. I just don't.
No,
I've had probably too much D and Rogan as it is this season.
Yeah.
That I don't need an entire like solo episode dedicated
the
just to D.
only way I want to see more of that is when it's breaking up.
Breaking up or banging.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
not many coitus points this year.
None. I guess Paulie and Cara aren't having sex in every room this season.
Or maybe because they didn't win last season, they're on team no sex
That's what they're saying.
for this season because it's like a fighter showing up to fighters in like fight camp that just don't have sex for months on end to keep that T real high.
Keep that T level really.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it goes. Anyway, Paul Shaughnessy, what's happening? I guess this will come out after the UFC this week. Why is the UFC on a Friday?
No idea.
No idea.
Like I don't think there's actually anything happening at the Boston Gardens or whatever, or what TD Bank Garden, whatever they call it now. It doesn't make any sense, yeah, because I was like, oh, maybe there's like a Celtics or a Boston Bruins game, and there wasn't any of that. There wasn't even a concert. I went on their website, just like they just decided to do it on Friday for some reason.
Did you know that, because I discovered this when I moved to America, that TD Bank in America, not the same as TD Bank in Canada.
Yeah, I tried to use my bank card when
tried
I
to
was
do it
down
too.
in New York, and it didn't quite work.
Yeah.
Actually, I still was able to take. I was
You
able to
can
take
use
out
your-
my
you-
money, but I
you can
still
use
think
your-
I had to pay like a fee.
Yeah, you can use your debit card regardless of the company.
Yeah, of course.
In America from Canada.
But you can't just walk up to a teller and be like, "Hey, sort my stuff." They're like, they don't have access to it.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'll open up a TD Bank with because I had my money in Canadian. And you're like, oh, I'll just open up an American account when I go to New York.
Yeah.
And I'll just transfer the funds between. They're like, oh no, we actually have no affiliation with the other ones. Like, but you have the same name and you're the same company. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they don't want to trust. I guess it just. I don't know. Who knows?
Taxes.
I'm not a
It's
banker.
probably
I
the
don't-
taxes.
Yeah, probably.
And they can rook you on the fees.
Yeah.
Either way. Anyway, I'm Pat Mayo. You can follow me at the PME. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. There is that giveaway for the Instagram, just like there is for what I mentioned off the top of the show after you smash the like button and rewind and figure out what that was, because I don't remember what it was. And the audio podcast, 5-star review, DraftKings handles something nice about the show. All 20 DK dollar giveaways. Winners announced every Monday on the Pat Mayo Experience, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, live this week with Sal Vetri, recapping all the NFL games and looking forward to the week. That was the challenge. Episode 8, War of the Worlds 2, recap and fantasy scoring. We'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!